Yeah, good morning to you, Richard. Yeah, Mr McDonald had actually served on the front bench under Jeremy Corbyn and was one of the few from that sort of hard left era of the party who made it through to the front bench under Sir Keir Starmer. He's tried to move the party slightly more to the centre ground. And Mr McDonald was now working on employment protection and rights for workers. And of course, for any Labour movement, workers' rights is absolutely central to their movement. And so what Andy McDonald was doing was seen as critical and important. And yet here at conference, Sir Keir Starmer's insistence on drawing attention to changing the party rules, reforming party rules, had really been quite irritating to many people because they'd seen it as a distraction from big policy ideas. And Mr McDonald had been working on the national living wage and such. And in his resignation letter, he said that his position had now become untenable after he says he was told to argue against a national minimum wage of £15 an hour and against statutory sick pay at the living wage. Well, Sir Keir Starmer's response on camera was sort of typically buttoned up, one might say. So today, for another day at conference, they'll be trying once again to try and bring attention to some of their policy ideas. Today, they're going to be talking about a pledge to bring back community policing in neighbourhoods. They want to recruit volunteers to bring eyes, ears and boots to the ground, something actually that the Police Federation say they welcome. But I feel that today it's going to be very difficult for the party and for the headlines to move away from the reverberations of that resignation.
Yeah, certainly not a comfortable time for Keir Starmer. Ranvir, thank you so much.
Yeah, well, I think this resignation really does sort of go to the heart of what the division really is in the party, that Keir Starmer is accused by the left of the party of making much worse. Now, Mr McDonald had worked on the front bench under Jeremy Corbyn, who's one of those who survived under that transferal of power to Sir Keir, and he was now in charge of looking at employment rights and protecting workers' rights. And of course, that idea, protecting workers' rights, is so central to any Labour movement. That's what it's all predicated on. And so when Mr McDonald resigned in his letter, it came as quite a shock in the kind of language that he used, because he said his position was untenable after he says he was told to argue against a national minimum wage of £15 an hour and against statutory sick pay at the living wage, something that many on the left of the party say are absolutely key principles of looking after workers' rights.
We've done.
And Keir Starmer's response, which of course was the thing that everybody was looking for yesterday when this resignation came out, his response here, you might just assess, is sort of very buttoned up in a way that is quite typical of Keir Starmer's approach. Well, today they'll be trying to talk here at the party conference about policing in neighbourhoods and about bringing back community neighbourhood policing, trying to put, as they say, eyes, ears and boots on the ground in a major recruitment drive for volunteers. The Police Federation say they welcome this idea. But I'm afraid that the reverberations of this resignation, I think, will probably continue to dominate all the chatter here at conference today. Well, you know, Momentum, who were incredibly strong under Jeremy Corbyn, have been tweeting against sort of Keir Starmer in many ways. You see that there is such a hangover here of what the hard left really believe were them going back to their core principles. And when you saw at the weekend, I don't know if you picked up on it at home, but, you know, Keir Starmer was asked about this, the energy crisis that we're facing, you know, the sort of increasing cost of heating our homes. And of course, under Jeremy Corbyn, and when Keir Starmer was elected as leader, he pledged the same thing, that, you know, renationalising our energy companies would be something that Labour would be interested in doing. And then when he was asked about that, whether that was the solution, he rolled back and said, actually, I don't think now is the time to talk about nationalising energy companies until it's value for money for customers. Well, it begs the question, does he think that the energy companies are providing value for money for customers? And so I think there is some huge resentment here from those who say, hang on, we elected you on the basis of what you promised, and now it appears to them that he is abandoning some of those, you know, key principles. And you know, they are on the hard left, but it is some of those ideas that actually Keir Starmer, is looking, and he will say this, and I think this is part of what he's saying about the £15 an hour issue that Andy McDonald has resigned over. He's saying, look, I can't encourage people to vote for that at conference because I'm trying to get elected as Prime Minister for the country, not just for the party. And I think this happens, doesn't it, Alistair? When a leader wants to get elected by their own party, it's one thing, but trying to appeal to the electorate, and that includes businesses, it includes employers, it includes all sorts of different companies and workers, people sometimes change their tune, and that does not go down well at a party conference.